Bring back Overwatch. What's the point?
Has Overwatch passed its prime? Is Overwatch dying? Has the power creep, one-shot kills, and crowd control meta ruined the game? Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Kanto, and today I'm going to be going over an idea that could be used as an event. The idea might really help to bring some perspective for Overwatch players as to the state of the game, and also would hopefully be an enjoyable event. I also want to address my perspective on the questions about is Overwatch dying, or has it at least passed its prime? Firstly, I want to address my idea for an Overwatch event that could be both enlightening and enjoyable. A quick disclaimer, I don't know if this is possible. If it isn't, that isn't fortunate, but maybe it could be used in the future if Blizzard started preparing for it now. So before we jump into the idea and the logistics of it, I want to address why I titled this video the way I did. Bring back Overwatch? I've been hearing a lot of discussion about vanilla or old Overwatch, which normally refers to the pre-stun, pre-crowd control meta. Normally it's referring to dive meta or something similar to that. I don't really think anyone wants to go back to 5-man reses, quad tank, etc. I know there are some people who would like to bring back the old 5-man res or other things, but I think most of the time people are talking about dive meta. Every once in a while I do hear people who miss the old OP Mercy during the Mercy meta, where she had, the long Valkyrie with the double res and all that kind of stuff, or the old Roadhog with the, one-shot kill, etc. Those kind of ideas. But I do think Blizzard is never going to return to vanilla Overwatch. We've never seen them go back on any of their big changes. They're progressing. They're always looking to go forward. So to go back, it's just not going to happen. We kind of have to accept that at this point. But my idea is, what if for a limited time they allowed whoever wanted to play in a past version of Overwatch? How? Here's the idea, and also the potential problem. If Blizzard has kept saves of previous patches of Overwatch, going back as far as the competitive Season 1, or else however long they have patches for, then this idea may work, otherwise it may not. I have no clue if they save old patches. I assume they save patches for a while in case something goes terribly wrong with the new patch that they update, but I have no idea how long they have saves of old patches. Unfortunately, the rest of this idea kind of hinges on whether they do or do not have patches from earlier versions of Overwatch. But assuming that Blizzard has saved patches of earlier Overwatch, what if they create an event, or did it during the event that they have titled Archives Event, that allowed players for 1 to 3 weeks to play on an earlier patch of Overwatch? My idea is that during the Archives event, on the main server, they leave quick play as is, add the Archive event games in arcade, and continue whatever competitive season is currently running. But then on the PTR server, they take down the PTR for a short amount of time, and they upload an earlier patch of Overwatch. This unfortunately would only work for PC players, but I don't think that Blizzard would ever take down the current patch of Overwatch for that long to host an outdated version. Supposing that they do have the patch for competitive Season 1, and they uploaded that to the PTR, they could leave this for a week and allow players to play, quote-unquote, a vanilla version of Overwatch, or an old version of Overwatch. Granted, there's a lot of different rules, the heroes were different, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how that would work. They would have to completely re-upload all those files. I don't know if they have them saved, etc. But if Blizzard brings back that event every year and they have all those old patches saved, they could go from Season 1 to Season 2 to Season 3, and I'm talking about competitive seasons here. They bring back the patches that were used during those competitive seasons, and they run them on their PTR server. So it should not mess with the normal Blizzard Overwatch servers. People could go onto the normal servers and play the updated patches. They could play the competitive season. Everything would be the same, except during the Archives event on the PTR, instead of having a test server, they have an old patch of Overwatch. Blizzard does a similar thing when they bring back events every year in Overwatch, so that players who did not get to play them in previous years get to try them out. Why not do the same with previous versions of Overwatch? It is almost like playing an event or an entirely different game. Each week of the event would cycle through an old patch of Overwatch. They probably wouldn't get through all of the patches because the event only lasts, I think, 3 to 4 weeks, but they could either continue cycling through old patches after the Archives event had ended on the main server, or they could simply do as many as they could the first year and pick up the next year where they had left off. This would allow seasoned players to go back and play old versions of Overwatch, and give feedback on what they missed, what they did not miss. It would provide a lot of context for how the game has improved or what the game possibly has lost. It would also provide new players a chance to try out old versions of Overwatch, see what it was like, and give me feedback as well. Finally, I think one very interesting option to do for this event would be to have a competitive mode in the old patch. However, instead of starting off with your live SR, you get a completely clean MMR and SR, and everyone gets placed based only on their placement games and the following games. They may have to do a longer placement session, say 15 or 20 games, to get a better feel for where players are. Otherwise, maybe once you get placed after your 10 placement games, you gain or lose more SR right away in your first few games until it kind of adjusts and gets you into the right spot. This would provide an interesting experiment on what would happen if MMR and SR got reset on the live servers, and it would also give the event competitive play, which to many players, like myself, is much more exciting and more fun. There could also be rewarding sprays or skins for reaching a certain rank during each week that is played on the old patches on the PTR servers. I don't know how this would affect the main servers or if it is even possible, but if it is possible, then I think it's definitely something worth examining the possibility of, or maybe even letting Blizzard know. I don't know how that would go about, but I think it'd be really exciting and really enjoyable for the players, and also maybe a good experience for Blizzard to be able to get a lot of feedback of, what people enjoy that has changed, what people miss from the old game. I know many of you are probably a lot more knowledgeable about Blizzard and past Overwatch patches, so if you know whether this is possible or not, let me know down in the comments. Regardless of whether it's possible or not, what problems or potential benefits do you see coming from an event like this? Would it be something that you'd be interested in? If Blizzard hasn't saved old patches, would it be worth them starting to save them now and do events like this in the future? Let me know down in the comments. Now shortly, before I end the video, I want to address if Overwatch has, in my opinion, begun to die, or at least past its prime. I have not done any specific research on the number of accounts being sold or the number of active accounts playing, but this is simply from a very active member of the community who watches a lot of Overwatch content, plays a lot of Overwatch, competitive, quick play, arcade, and tries to stay somewhat up to date with the issues and feeling generally of the community. I think there has been a large outcry against the stuns, the one-shots, and the general power creep in the game. A lot of people, especially the pros, are questioning why the game is steering away from traditional aiming towards other skill sets or even non-skilled quote-unquote heroes. However, I personally think that as much as I do dislike stuns and being one-shot as a tank, the game is in one of the healthiest spots it has ever been. The meta is not nearly as defined as it has always been in the past. Yes, there are strong picks and there are weaker picks, but overall you can make almost anything work if you play it correctly. There are more maps, there are more strategies, there's more professional play to watch than ever. Toxicity still exists, yes. It will always be a problem in video games, in my opinion, but I think we forget how bad it was before the report system update and the implementation of endorsements. I'm not going to say the game is anywhere near perfect, but I will say the game has a lot of potential, and I 100% believe there's a strong point to bringing back Overwatch. Overwatch is, in my extremely biased opinion, the best video game in existence. You don't have to agree, but even if you don't, you should see that Overwatch offers the gaming community so much. Overwatch League is creating so many opportunities for gamers, opening the world's eyes to esports, and creating sustainable jobs for Overwatch players. The game itself provides endless fun, albeit with a lot of frustration along the way. There is so much to learn and enjoy through Overwatch, whether it be in learning how to climb in solo queue, or build or join a team, and play in tournaments. Anyway, that's all from me today. I hope this video has something of interest to you. If you're still here and you enjoyed the video and like to hear other ideas or see more content from me, consider subscribing. Feel free to like and comment as well. I look forward to hearing feedback or ideas that you may want me to address in the future. Thank you all for watching. I'm Kanto. I'll see you guys next time.